Hello Taurus, my name is Paul and this is Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask that you connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And if there is anything you need me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. All right? And remember, Taurus, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we begin with a Knight of Swords. Interesting, very important communications coming in. I think that this is... well, it could be related to an air sign person in your life, perhaps a Libra energy. Let's put that into some context. There is an Eight of Swords. I feel like there's some sort of communication blockage with someone. Got the Queen of Cups, Five of Cups. We got more swords. A lot of air and water here. All air and water. I think our feeling and our thinking are kind of wrestling with each other right now, right? Let's see what else we've got. We still got a lot of water and air, and we end with a Nine of Cups. Well, that is pretty fancy there. I like the Nine of Cups. It's a good way to end, right? This is really a lot of happiness, a lot of satisfaction, a lot of fulfillment, right? It's kind of a card that says, this is what you want. How badly do you want this, right? This is your bliss. This is you following your bliss. This is you pursuing your happiness, fulfillment. This is literally like all of your satisfaction rolled into one card, right? It's physical. It is mental, emotional. It is creative, spiritual, right? This is the ultimate joy and pleasure and happiness that you could imagine. And this is you living it, right? This is the card that kind of says, what are you willing to do to get that? Right? Well, we've got to deal with all of this air and water. But first, let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. One random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. We're going to set it down right here. We'll put Jimbo, the Lizard King, a.k.a. Mr. Lizard, right there on top of that card. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. So, Taurus, don't even ask, okay? We'll see if it can tie everything together, give us the confirmation that we need, right? But at the end of the reading. If at any point during the reading you get an idea, a sense, a feeling of what that card is, I want you to leave your prediction down in the comment section of this video. I'm trying to see if we can collectively raise our vibrations, tap into spirit, into source, and start discerning that mystery card, well, together, right? But first, let's look at these energies. We have no major arcana. Right? There's nothing here. What the Nine of Cups is telling you is that all of this is going to be up to you. Right? That we have to make some changes. We have to implement. We have to try to harmonize. Right? That's what this cycle of readings is all about. The Six of Swords. Harmonizing the air and the water. Right? The air and the water. That's all we have here. We have little pieces of fire here and there, primarily in the Knights, right? The Knight of Swords and the Knight of Cups. This could be some Libra energy. This could be some Cancer energy, but I'm not quite sure that it's working that way, right? I feel with these two, first of all, that there's some kind of a grudge maybe that you're holding on to. There's some kind of a resistance that you have to a particular person, communication, a certain energy coming in. Just kind of based on principle, you're rejecting it. Because I feel as if there's a misunderstanding. I feel like there are some facts that we're not aware of, right? We're holding on to this grudge. Maybe we know we are, I kind of think that this is kind of hurting our progress, though. It feels like it's kind of self-sabotaging. We're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot, right, with this. Because we're holding on to something, I think, from the past, right? Something that we don't have all the facts to. And it is, kind of affecting how we're moving into the future, right? We've got an eight of swords. You know what we do with the 8 of swords is we do a botanical inspiration card. It looks like we're just going to be needing this one card today. We do no I Ching card. We've got no divine doorway. We've got no yes, no coin. This is all the extra we're going to have today. So let's see what it is. Let's make it count, right? The amaryllis, determination and creative achievement. You can't use up creativity. The more you use, the more you have. Well, there's this idea of creativity also in this, the future card. This is the Prince of Cups. Okay, this is somebody that's trying to live authentically. This is someone who is striving to express their own truth, right? There's there's air of water here, right? So there's air inside. There's a truth inside of this card. And there's really this need to express that truth, right? And I think this is where the big change needs to happen. This is in the future position, okay? Because this is an energy that has water, again, water on the outside, right? And that water is very reflective. So it's kind of as if we are, despite what we feel and what we believe inside, we're just reflecting back at the environment, whatever vibes it's given us. So with this person, we have this kind of grudge that we're holding against them because maybe we felt some sort of energy from them, some sort of the communication or some, whatever happened. We'll get into that. And now it feels like we're just kind of, we just got this reflective coating on, that we're not really expressing ourselves. We're just kind of, whatever energy's coming in, we're just reflecting it right back. So there's not a lot of, I guess, like transparent communication here. Okay. So in order to get to this authenticity, where what is within you is really being expressed, because that's kind of that's the essence of creativity, right? The more, Maya Angelou said this, I guess, the more you use it, the more you have. It's kind of like it's a muscle. We have to exercise it, right? And I think we're kind of resistant to that. And if we look at the top and bottom of the path of the dove, we have this air energy up top, and we have this water energy down below. And I think the air up top, this is external. And it's in some ways, it's kind of the opposite of what this card is, right? This, very interesting. The vertical axis here is showing the air on the outside and the water on the inside. So this is us being defensive. This is us holding that grudge. This is us, it's a Princess of Swords, rejecting anything this person says or does or anything. We're just, by default, we're just, we have this kind of resistant, almost defensive kind of attitude toward them. And this is that grudge, right? And then within us, down beneath everything, this is where our depth of emotion is. This is all the water that's within us. We feel a certain type of way, and it goes deep, right? This is maybe a large issue for you, right? There could be really something important going on here that we're not expressing to this person, okay? And like I said, this is air on the outside and the depth of our feelings within us that we're kind of not expressing. And that's kind of the opposite of this, because it's the air inside of us, and what we're expressing outwardly is just the reflective surface level water energy. So it's almost, it's almost that we have to reverse the process here. That we have to now, instead of keeping our emotions down here beneath the surface, kind of locked away within us, maybe we have to figure out a way to start expressing them outwardly, right? Because whatever happened, this is the 5 of Cups, this is in the recent past. First of all, this card is back here saying you probably need to put this issue behind you, okay? Whatever this was, it's in the past, right? That's the first very obvious message here. There's also this feeling that maybe you had some sort of expectation. Maybe you had some sort of vision or plan or the ideal that you had set up, I feel as if you were let down. I feel as if something didn't work out the way you had envisioned it. Okay? And so we have this kind of disappointment, right? Our expectations were not met. Okay? And that sometimes happens, right? But the idea that this is behind you is kind of interesting when we take it into account as a flow. Because the 5, it's all about movement, right? 5s are change. 5s are, well, we have a 4, right? Kind of like an ice cube here. This is a lot of our emotions being locked up within us. We're not expressing how we feel about this, right? But this 5 is kind of saying, look, we need to melt the ice. We need to get this water flowing. We need to process the emotions. We need to express it. We need to do something with it, right? Maybe in order to put it behind us, we have to kind of melt the ice and open up the communication. Well, it's interesting that the Knight of Swords is here. This is fire of air. Maybe this is the heat of this communication that we need to melt this ice cube, get the emotions flowing, and get us to a more authentic future. Get us to be into a place where we are expressing ourselves and we're not being inhibited by this emotion that seems like it's kind of frozen within us, right? I kind of feel like it's an ice cube that you tossed into the glass and it just keeps sinking down, 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 down to the bottom, right? It's a never-ending glass. This is like the depth of emotion. This is water on water, right? So it kind of feels like you've pushed the real issue so far down beneath the surface that maybe it's going to take some effort to reconnect with it, figure out, again, kind of why you feel this way, and then start expressing ourselves in a different way, rather than just rejecting every single thing and being defensive and just, I know this is an air card, right? The Princess of Swords. But this card's not really about communication. This is kind of about the rejection of communication, right? That's not what we want. Maybe we want the heat of this kind of argument. Maybe we need to kind of put all of our feelings out there. We need to maybe open up a dialogue, and a dialogue that is, well, transparent and authentic, which is these 2 cards, right? The Queen of Cups down here, this is a card that signals to us we need to be more emotionally transparent, right? Because what we're showing on the surface is not how we truly feel. It's not what's beneath the surface, behind this veil, right? So it could be that we're still interacting with this person in a pleasant kind of, generally a friendly way, but we're harboring this really deep resentment perhaps inside, okay? And that brings us to the path of the serpent, of course. And we've got the Knight of Cups. So this is the heat, really. There's fire here, fire of water, fire of air. So we've got the heat that we're generating through communicating our emotions, right? We've got both fire here. And maybe that's the fire that is really going to get things moving, right? Really going to get this ice cube melted and get the water flowing so that we can move on and get to this intense satisfaction of the 9 of Cups, right? So it's kind of like we're sacrificing this 9 of Cups because of some disappointment, some kind of a grudge, something. And I'm not trying to minimize what happened. Maybe this person really hurt you, right? Really affected you, and it's something that you don't want to forgive and forget. And that's totally fine, but we can't just lock that emotion away. We've got to process it in some way, right? And maybe it's not about communicating with them particularly, but in some way expressing this, right? To process these feelings rather than them being kind of 4 of Cups, ice cube kind of thing, right? It's almost as if we're giving up on the idea of our ultimate happiness and fulfillment because we can't get past this ice cube, right? We can't melt this and get this water flowing. So everything we see here is really about a blending of how we think and how we feel and how we express those feelings, right? So the idea of talking or communicating, it doesn't have to be with that person, but in some way we have to express what we're feeling. We have to at least find that feeling again and, get that emotion processed. We can't just kind of hold on to it. We've got to put it behind us. We've got to integrate it, process it, whatever term you want to use. A big part of that is going to be this Knight of Cups. This is you beginning to open yourself up emotionally again, right? This is being ready to kind of wear your heart on your sleeve in some way, but also to share of your innermost self with others. Maybe not be this exact person, right? Maybe this person did something that there's no going back from, right? They crossed the line, that's it, they're out of your life. And that's okay. We still have to then kind of ease back into opening ourselves up again, being able to give and receive love in an authentic way. And that's what this card is about. This is some Cancer energy. This is, Cancer in the sense that it's a crab. It's like a hard shell with really soft meat inside, right? So there's this this need for protection because of what is delicate within us, right? And it kind of is about this air and this water. We're using this kind of defensive, intellectual energy to protect this ice cube that's really, deep within us. No, not the rapper/actor. But this frozen emotional experience that still needs to be processed. Okay. So we have the fire here, and the fire, this is kind of, this is us easing back into the giving and receiving of love in an authentic way. Okay. So this is some practical things too, right? This is finding new ways to kind of recharge your emotions, right? Either through acts of love, acts of kindness, random acts of kindness, acts of service, right? Finding other ways to kind of express your desires too, right? Entertainment, hobbies, things like that, just to kind of get you back in the game, so to speak. Right? Emotional recharge here. And I think that is going to put this Four of Cups into perspective. Okay? And really I think it all hinges around the Prince of Cups here, because this is the way we shine our light and share our vision, right? And we want to get to this. This is you living authentically. This is you having that light and that vision within you with the air and radiating it outwardly in your art, in your relationships, in the depth of your emotions, that sort of thing. And then here, of course, we have the Queen of Swords. So we have water of air. Here we have air of water. Here we have water of air. And this, I think, this position is really the objective perspective that we need. It's in the position of what we don't want, of what we're kind of resistant toward. Because this is kind of the objective vantage point where you can see how things really are, right? We're getting a kind of clear shot of what the reality of this situation is. And sometimes we don't want to see ourselves from this perspective, right? This is almost like a third-party perspective. It's almost an out-of-body experience where you're actually able to witness how you're feeling, how you're thinking and acting and responding to things. And I think a lot of the time this is not a pleasant experience, right? And this is why in the work of Gurdjieff, it was a very important process, right? He was a philosopher and a mystical teacher. And it was all about seeing yourself, remembering yourself. When we're here, when I'm when I'm sitting here talking to you, I have to try to see myself, witness myself from your perspective, right? So not only am I looking at you, but I also have the awareness of you looking at me. And that can sometimes cause a lot of anxiety, a lot of self-consciousness. This is self-consciousness, but in an objective way, in a way that doesn't cause like anxiety and that sort of thing. It's a self-remembering rather than a self-consciousness. But we need to try to do that sometimes, because I think you might see how we are too wrapped up in our mind, in our personality, in our grudge, in our resentment, in our feeling, even though the feeling is kind of frozen and tossed down in the well. It's still affecting our mind, our thought process, our interactions with the world. And I think it is what is kind of inhibiting us or preventing us from getting to this Nine of Cups. This Nine of Cups is what it's all about. Right? This is it. Okay? This is the idea that all of your creative pursuits can succeed right now. That you can achieve this happiness. It's right here. It's physical, mental, emotional, and creative, spiritual. Every level of this kind of fulfillment, this happiness. And this is you not having happiness. This is you gaining happiness, right? It's a 9. It's a function. Yeah, it's a car. It's an action. It's a process. It's not a state of being happy. It's you building happiness through your activities. It's you actively engaged in your life, building happiness, gaining happiness, accumulating this kind of water, this satisfaction. Yeah. And this is a drastic change, I think, compared to how we might be existing now. This is, every moment is almost pure joy, right? Because you're doing your will, you're pursuing your happiness, you're following your bliss, rather than being wrapped up in this air and water kind of split. That now our thinking and our feeling, we're on the same page. Right? We've had this union between our thinking and feeling functions. And now we're just out here doing life, and we're able to enjoy it. We're able to really feel the bliss and love of it all. This is the ultimate goal, I think, and I think a lot of people, you ask, what is your, what's the meaning of life? What do you want in life? Just to be happy, right? And not in some false way. Not happy as in, I can smile and laugh through any kind of, any kind of problem or devastation or sorrow. No, it's about an underlying satisfaction with life, an underlying connection with life. Even in our troubles. This isn't going to be the last time that you have some water energy that needs some moving around. But even in the midst of all of this pain and trouble that we experience, we still find ways to connect. We still find ways to be connected with everyone, with the world around us, with ourselves. Yeah. I'm going to look at that mystery card now. Curious about that one. I wonder if it'll be fire or earth. I wonder if it'll be a major arcana. Thank you, Jimbo. Oops, didn't mean to throw you. This is the point of the reading where I'll ask you to try to connect with these energies. Okay, I'll switch the camera back around. If you want to pause the video, go ahead. Let's see if we can figure this card out together, okay? I'll give my prediction in just a moment here. Well, I'm not feeling any major arcana. I'm not feeling any fire or earth either. I'm feeling more water. But I'm feeling a water energy that is happy, that's excited, that is connecting, right? I almost feel another 9 of Cups. But maybe not a 9. Maybe it's kind of closer to the core. Maybe it's an ace or a 2 or a 3 of Cups. That's my prediction. Ace, 2, or 3. water energy. 3. 3 of Cups. Abundance, happiness, celebration, love, gratitude. Right? This is you really connecting with the people around you. This is you, again, kind of that emotional recharge, right? Finding ways to do some enjoyable things to get your kind of blood pumping again, to get your heart working again, to get this water flowing, to melt the ice. Yeah. It's about connecting with friends, family, connecting with entertainment, hobbies, things that give you pleasure. Expressing love, expressing gratitude, receiving gratitude as well, right? All of those things. This is the perfect confirmation card, and I think that it's through this air energy that we have to achieve that, right? Because we kind of the air is about the communication, the relationships. Well, in order to have a 3 of Cups, we've got to have the relationships part. We need the air energy to be in there. This is understanding the process of creation on the emotional / intuitive / spiritual plane. Understanding how to create joy and love and abundance. Right? And for that, we need the air and the water to work in harmony. Our thinking and our feeling, our communication, and our desires, right? Everything needs to be kind of headed toward the same goal. And that same goal is true happiness, deep fulfillment, and connection. And this is the beginning. This is us returning to that and doing little things that we can throughout our days to foster this, to get us closer to that 9 of Cups. Very, very nice. I like this as the mystery card. We are going to do an extended reading, Taurus. If you want to stick around, click either above or below in the video description. New readings for Taurus every Monday and Friday, 6 a.m. Chicago time. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Okay. Thank you for watching this reading and all of your readings all the way through until the end. It really helps out the algorithm, helps this channel kind of get back on its feet a little bit. So I do want to thank you. And I want you to remember that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I do thank you. And I love you. And I hope you'll come back and see me again very, very soon.